So this video is a part 2 to the March check-in because I realized that I forgot to share some other hopeful news that has already happened this month. And today is May 19th, so we're not even done with the month yet. But some other hopeful news that I forgot to mention in the first May check-in is about some of the political changes that have happened. So in the May reading that I did, which is several videos ago, I mentioned that there was going to be both a balance of challenges, but also a balance of hope that was going to happen across the board. So it was going to be from the spiritual sense, love sense, career sense, but also in the political and world spectrum. In the first check-in, I talked about some of the hopeful things that have happened, and in this part, I'm going to mention the part that I forgot, which is around the political spectrum. So there's definitely been some hopeful things that have happened this month with regards to politics. So we've seen the Canadian elections move more towards the liberal, like left-ish side. Each country, of course, has different terminology. We've seen Australia do the same. We've seen Germany take a stronger stance against AfD, or the more fascist side of their politics. And then in Texas, where I live, and I also live in a more conservative city in Texas that has pretty much always voted red, Texas has started to vote more blue, and my city voted blue for the first time. So that is all very hopeful, is I think not only within the US, but also just people that live externally to the US who were starting to lean more conservative are seeing what that actually looks like in practice and what that actually means, and that maybe what they thought it meant is not really what they actually want. And so they're getting the opportunity to course correct, and they're taking that opportunity. And it sucks that we have to be the example of how things could go wrong, but I'm happy that we're able to help other people make better decisions. I do feel like the US going through this is very, very important. Obviously, we're not the first country to experience fascism. That's been happening around the world in so many countries for all the time and has been going on. But I think that not enough attention was really given, and not as much care was given to other countries that needed it when they were going through similar scenarios. And so I think it needed to happen on this bigger scale. One, to bring it closer to home to the people who have things that they could do to help others. And two, to teach them and help them figure out how to do that, because I think there's lots of really helpful people in the US who are very good-natured, who want to help, but they just didn't really know how because they hadn't really dealt with things recently in a similar way. And so now they're having to figure out how, and therefore can be of greater value to the world. And also the fact that it's happening to, I guess I would say, the most powerful country in the world is, I think, especially interesting and concerning, because we're the biggest domino. And everything that we do is on the world stage. Everybody watches. And so we're definitely a very powerful use case, I think, to others to help them not make the same mistakes. Because things are getting a little bit concerning there for the rest of the world too, I would say. So anyways, all of that is very hopeful. I will say though, after all that hope, I do feel like a danger energy that I feel is going to happen in this second half of May to maybe first week of June is kind of the timeline that I'm sensing. So I don't really have more on that. That's just really what I'm getting. And then the guidance for that is just, if you feel intuitively guided to not be somewhere or to go somewhere else, follow your intuition right now. And that's really all that I'm getting around that. Because I think it's not something that we're supposed to be fearful of. It's just something that we are supposed to be a little bit more watchful of, noticing things more. So that's all. I think that's why that message is staying right as it is. So I'm going to leave that here. Thank you so much. If you're interested in working with me in other ways, I have some links in the description box below. You can learn how to connect with your own intuition or connect more deeply with your own lightworker mission. And I have some courses regarding that. And at some point I am going to open up my readings. So that is also an option. Not currently open, but maybe by the time you see this video it is. And even if not, then you know that it's coming. So just kind of letting you know. So I will leave it here, and I will catch you in the next one.